Rudabis. In the shadows, the commanders of the Black Mage continued their schemes in the wake of their master's return. Of the old commanders, only a handful remained. Von Leon allowed the commanders to use his castle as a base. Arcarium had tried and failed to revive the Black Mage with the Mystic Gates. Hilla had made her move to overthrow the Empress and had failed. Orchid herself had fallen into a coma after spending centuries attempting to revive her brother. Lotus was enslaved by Glimmer, and Magnus, Guaru, and the demon had betrayed them. However, two new commanders had joined their ranks, Will and Damien. Will was a magician and a scholar who was deeply interested in the Black Mage and his goals. While the Black Mage had still been sealed, the Interdimensional Portal had appeared in Maple World, and Will had grown increasingly curious about its role in the Black Mage's grand design. Through his research, he had learned that the interdimensional portal was an aberration that occurred when a transcendent stripped the power from another transcendent and used it. He had concluded that the interdimensional portal was a sign of collapse, and that if left unchecked, Mapleworld and Grandis would destroy one another. Though he had initially wondered whether it was part of the Black Mage's plan to destroy Maple World, he hadn't been able to believe that simple destruction was all that the Black Mage had planned, as there was far simpler methods to destroy the world. He had noted that the Black Mage had deliberately introduced countless variables into his plan, despite knowing that they would get in the way of his own goals. Will had pondered endlessly about the Black Mage's goals, and had wondered whether it was ambition, a thirst for immortality, intellectual curiosity, or simply a desire to plunge Mapleworld into chaos. He soon began to grow frustrated with his research, when his research simply brought him back to the beginning. Just then, however, the thought triggered an epiphany. He decided to look back to the beginning when the Black Mage had been the White Mage, before he had become the Transcendent of Light. Will successfully finished his research and concluded that the Black Mage's goal was to create a new perfect world that was free from the influence of the Overseers. He also realized that the Black Mage's sealing was part of his plan, and so he became certain that the Black Mage would return. After the Black Mage's seal was destroyed, Will sought him out and became one of his most loyal commanders, intent on satisfying his intellectual curiosity by seeing the new world that the Black Mage planned to create. With the spider-like powers he had received from the Black Mage, Will became known as the King of Spiders. Author's note: Will's backstory is revealed in a flashback that we see after defeating him in the Genesis Weapon Liberation questline. We also learn that Will became the Black Mage's sole confidant, though he soon starts to feel that there are more secrets than the Black Mage isn't telling him. By the time of Esfera, Will comes to suspect that the Black Mage is aspiring for something more than Genesis, which is ultimately proven correct after the events of Limina, where we realize the whole plan to create a new world was a ruse to push the adversary and the Alliance to their limits so that their powerful determination would activate the Seal Stone and allow them to kill the Black Mage. The reason why the writers gave Will spider powers is likely because of cobwebs that spiders spin look like the cracks in a mirror, alluding to his role as the keeper of the mirror world. Meanwhile, Damien continued to gain influence with the half-blood demons of Tynerum in order to raise his own army. During his first meeting with the commanders, Damien was approached by Von Leon, who told him his story. Damien was intrigued to learn that Von Leon was a kindred spirit, as they had both lost loved ones and had chosen the path of revenge. Von Leon then unexpectedly told Damien that some things were impossible, even for the Black Mage. Damien was surprised and asked Von Leon why he was so interested in him. Von Leon ignored the question and asked Damien whether he had ever felt as though what he was doing might be pointless. Damien retorted that Von Leon was one to talk about stopping his quest for vengeance, adding that there was no going back for either of them. after having sold their souls to the Black Mage. However, Von Leon simply told Damien that even if his mother were to return to life, Damien's tainted soul wasn't fit to be anywhere near her. He explained that he was sure that Damien had expected as much, but added that to be so close to something without being able to touch it was a fate worse than death. Author's note: this scene is revealed after you defeat Damien during the Genesis Weapon Liberation questline. Soon after the commanders learned the location of the World Tree, and Damien was tasked with recovering her, he and his army traveled to Root Abyss, where he discovered Alicia slowly regaining her powers. Rather than capturing her then, he told Alicia that he needed her at full strength, and placed a seal on Root Abyss in order to prevent her from leaving. To guard her, he created 4 seal guardians: Bonbon, Pierre, the Crimson Queen, and Vellum. Author's note: Alicia and the 4 seal guardians are based on characters from Alice in Wonderland. Alicia is Alice, Bonbon is the White Rabbit, Pierre is the Mad Hatter, the Crimson Queen is the Queen of Hearts, and possibly even the Red Queen, and Vellum is the Jabberwocky. Given her love of literary references, as seen with the Tower of Oz being based on The Wizard of Oz, I really did think that Alicia was the original creator of the Seal Guardians, and that Damien had simply corrupted them. However, the few references that exist online suggest that Damien had created them himself. Zero's storyline reveals that the commanders had planned for some unknown person to become the next transcendent of life, although their plans are disrupted when Damien goes rogue and attempts to steal Alicia's power for himself. The Damien webcomic reveals that Arcarium has been keeping him in line by promising that the next transcendent of time after Rhine would join the Black Mage and turn back time on his mother's corpse, which Arcarium claims to be preserving with his time powers, although we later learn that her body was actually an illusion. When Alpha and Beta meet the commanders at the end of their storyline, Damien comes to realize that they have no intention of joining the Black Mage, which is when he decides to become the next Transcendent of Life himself by finding the Transcendent Stone, as Arcarium had claimed that only a Transcendent has the power to bring someone back from the dead. Word soon reached the Alliance that a previously uncharted area in Sleepywood had appeared. Nineheart summoned an Alliance member and asked them to investigate. While investigating, they fell deep below Sleepywood into Root Abyss and woke up to find Alicia standing over them. Alicia told them that she wanted to leave, but the Alliance member told her that they needed to stay and investigate the area. Alicia explained that they were in Root Abyss and that it wasn't a place where they would want to stay. She told them that they should leave together, and so the Alliance member found several exits around Rid Abyss and told her that she could leave using them. Alicia explained that she had already tried many times to leave using those exits, but she had found that they didn't work for her. The Alliance member then tried to exit and discovered that it worked for them. Upon finding that they could leave, the girl gave them a scroll and explained that she had brought it with her because it was meant to allow one to return to the nearest town. However, she told them that it didn't work for her, and so she asked them to try. Though the Alliance member noted that the scroll was ancient, they found that it worked for them. They returned to let Alicia know, who wondered whether she would be stuck in Root Abyss forever. The Alliance member asked her how she had ended up in Root Abyss in the first place, as it didn't seem like a safe place for a little girl. Alicia explained that she had created Root Abyss centuries ago in order to recover her powers. Confused, the Alliance member asked who she was and was shocked to discover that she was the World Tree. Alicia explained that a demon with an eye patch had appeared and had tried to kidnap her, and that he had created 4 mysterious doors before he left. Just as the Alliance member decided to investigate the doors, they found themselves suddenly transported before Vellum, who threatened the Alliance member to back down. Realizing that the eye patch demon was Vellum's leader, the Alliance member told them that the demon was their ally, but Vellum grew furious and told him not to mention the betrayer's name. After threatening them with a powerful attack, Vellum sent them back to Alicia. The Alliance member decided to return to Arev in order to let Nineheart know what they had discovered. Nineheart was pleased to know that the World Tree had been located, but he was less happy to learn about the Seal Guardians. He decided to mobilize the Alliance against the Seal Guardians in order to free the World Tree. With the Alliance members' help, they were able to defeat the Seal Guardians and brought Alicia back to Arev, where she was absorbed into the gemstone of Shinsu's forehead for her safety. Author's note: I really wish they had explored Nineheart and Cygnus' reaction to finding the World Tree, especially given that it was the reason why Cygnus was corrupted in the Gate to the Future. The Tower of Oz storyline takes place around the same time that the Alliance was mobilizing Root Abyss. The Tower of Oz lore isn't very significant, but the gist of it is that Nineheart tells the Alliance member that an underwater tower has been discovered in the far northern reaches of the Maple World, where they have also discovered Alicia's soul. Nineheart is curious about why Alicia's soul is there when Alicia is currently sealed in Root Abyss, and sends the Alliance member to investigate. Alicia's soul explains that she had split from her main body in order to protect the Tower of Oz, while her physical body healed in Root Abyss. However, the Black Mage's influence had corrupted the Guardians of the Tower over time, and so she asked the Alliance member to defeat the Guardians by taking stupid pills, as the tower blocks out anyone above a certain intelligence, so that the unintelligent monsters in the tower can remain safe. I think that stupid pill is one of the worst GMS localizations in the game, and I vastly prefer KMS's original name, which is Hazy Stone. Nah fam, stupid pills are great.